Well, it's 4 o'clock, 4:17 in the morning. Just had a nightmare. And I've been saying all this time, there's certain things I'm not going to talk about. But maybe it's time. Maybe the nightmares will stop. So, here we go. I keep having these nightmares where people are talking to me about everything that's going on, about people dying, asking me, why didn't I help? Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? And when I first got home, it was almost every night. And it was all night long. I couldn't sleep. Now I can sleep. I'm kind of used to it. But at the same time, I still have these terrible ones where I just see everybody dead. Now, they said I was having ICU psychosis. And I told a few people about it when I was in the hospital, when I literally thought I was dying. Voices, people talking to me that seemed real. And I knew I wasn't dreaming because it was broad daylight and I'd be by myself. And I'd hear these guys talking to me when I was really, really bad, when I knew that this is it and I'm going to die. There were these 3 guys constantly talking to me. One would sit on my bed, rub his hand on my chest and on my forehead, and he would say, "That's right, Kevin. Just lay there. Just relax. You know this is when you feel your best. Stop struggling. Stop fighting. I got you. We're going to do this together. This is how I'm going to kill you." And this was a guy that wanted me to lay there and let the pneumonia take over my lungs. That's how he wanted to kill me. Then there was another one. He was kind of jittery. He'd walk around the bed, just kind of talking real fast. And he'd say, no, man, don't go out like a little girl. Get up, get your ass up. Come on, let's do this thing. Watch this. He was the guy that I saw whenever I had those air episodes and I'm leaning over the side of the bed about to throw up, scared to death that if I throw up, the heaving from throwing up alone wouldn't allow me to catch my breath. And that's when I'm going to go into cardiac arrest. And he's like, come on, man. Come on, don't go out let's go out like a man. Do this the right way. So I got these 2 guys constantly trying to tell me how I'm supposed to die. And then there's this guy sitting at the bottom of the bed, sitting on a throne with a crown tipped to the side of his head, a staff in one hand and a mug of beer in the other hand, looking at them 2 and saying to me, don't worry about it. I haven't figured out which one I'm going to let kill you yet. And I always looked at him like he was the virus. You know, my son Kevin, leave it to Kevin. One day, I was telling him about it, how they just keep coming back every single day. And I'm just fighting, but I don't feel like, there's nobody fighting for me. Nobody fighting for me. And Kevin said, No, Dad, you gotta fight for you. You gotta talk to them. You gotta fight. You gotta look at them and tell them, no, you're gonna stay alive. You're gonna do it your way. They're not gonna determine what's gonna happen to you. And that day I realized, first of all, I knew they weren't real. That's the hardest part about ICU psychosis. I knew they weren't real, but they were like, you're laying there scared. You're in so much pain. And you just want to lay there. When you feel good, you feel good. So you don't want to move. You want to lay there. And the whole time, this virus is turning your lungs to glass. Now, granted, this is not everybody's experience. Some people just get sick and they get oxygen. They never feel that moment and they don't know. But I've talked to people. Some people know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's almost as if this virus has a personality. I mean, look at it. It does what it wants to do, whoever it wants to do it to. There's no way around it. It's the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. And people keep telling me not to scare people. This virus is bad. There are times I don't even want to talk about it because I'm like, it's just waiting around the corner to get me, to finish the job. I've seen people talk about it. I've seen people laugh at it. Then the next day, I see the same people crying on Facebook because somebody they know got the virus. The symptoms keep changing. How can they stop it when they don't even know what it is? Like with me, there was probably 6, 7 doctors that looked at me and 5 of them kept saying, oh, he doesn't have it. He doesn't have it. It's the wrong symptoms. It's not consistent. It's not this. It's not that. It's hospital staff. Nah, he doesn't have. He doesn't have. 4 days later, oh, he's got the virus. I didn't really get on here to answer questions, but I should have known better than that. I just got on here because I wanted people to know that this is such a psychological nightmare. You have no clue what it's like to come that close to death and watch all these numbers on TV. Before I got sick, I see the numbers. Then after I get sick, I see the numbers. And then I survive and see the numbers and say, why me? Why did I come that close? A lot of people come close. A lot of people get on oxygen. A lot of people get on respirators. But how many people truly in their minds thought, this is it. This is it. It's over. I go to sleep. I'm not going to wake up. One more bad cough and it's not going to make it. It's the hardest thing in the world to think about. And then when you try to go back into your regular life and live, you're in this isolation. You were going to die alone. Alone. And not you. I mean, so you die. You don't know. Your family. Your family never sees you again. Thousands of people go into a hospital room, go into an emergency room, go into an ambulance and never see their family again. And the hell with them. What about their families, their kids, their grandkids, their friends? They never see them again. All I think about is what my family would have went through. I live alone. I'm alone most of the time. My family didn't bring me to the hospital. My sister saw me for 2 minutes. And they never saw me again until I came home. If I'd have died, they'd have never known. All these people, thousands of people, it's like being kidnapped. This virus kidnaps you and your family never sees you again. And then you come back from that It's not easy. It's not cool. I guess it's not fair for me to come on here and spill my guts. 4 o'clock in the morning. But understand, I've been putting it off and putting it off. I didn't want to tell anybody. And a couple of really good friends I've talked to about it are people that I thought would at least not judge me for feeling so vulnerable. But you know what? Everybody needs to know. And it's time to fight. This is not your normal virus. This thing has a mind of its own. It lurks around hours, minutes, days. Nobody knows. And then it lays in people who don't even know they got it. And they walk around infecting people, not on purpose. Some of them are really good people that are trying not to spread it. But it's just that easy to spread. Wash your hands. They call it social distancing. I call it physical distancing because social media will allow you to stay in contact with people. Use social media and stay in contact. But keep physically distancing yourself from each other. Nine days later, yeah, Christina, I went 9 days with no actual care. I don't know how I made it that long other than this crazy, dense, defective heart of mine, my best friend. PTSD, Lloyd, you think that's what this is? Well, there are going to be a whole lot of people with some real serious psychological issues. I'm a strong person physically and mentally, and I struggle with this every day, that virus is not a being of some sort trying to destroy us. And the shame of it is, we as a people have a tendency to just not pay anything attention because we think we're impervious until it affects us. And that's going to make it affect us and so many other people. What was that question everybody said somebody shouldn't have asked? Before I go, I'm just curious. I didn't see it. So now I'm wondering, what was the question? I heard people say, how dare you ask that question? What question did somebody ask that was so upsetting? He said, Tracy Lynn Gilliam, it's an ignorant question to ask somebody. What did Tracy ask me? Oh, it's a legit question. How much did it hurt when you were just about to die? If that's the question you're talking about, when I thought it was it, the very moment I'll never forget in my life, the one that was greater than all the rest of them, the headache that I had had for, I don't know, 13 days was so bad, I thought my brain was going to explode. My eyeballs were hurting so much. I really thought the pressure in my eyeballs were going to make them blow up. I was choking on air. I was on what I thought was my last ounce of air. And my body hurt so bad. I said before, it hurt so bad, my toenails hurt. I have been in a hospital this time maybe 4 days, 5 days, and it wasn't like a seizure. It was like my soul was leaving my body and I was trying not to throw up. Like I knew that I couldn't come back from a full blown episode where I throw up and never catch my breath again and cardiac arrest. And the pain was so bad. I felt like my body was going to implode. And all of a sudden, it's like everything in me just tightened into a one big ball of muscle. And then I exploded and threw up. And for the first time in days, I could breathe. It's actually the moment I knew I was going to live. At the moment I thought I was going to die. Don't throw up. You can't throw up. You know what those convulsions are like when you throw up. You're not going to survive if you actually let yourself throw up. It's over. And I was fighting it with everything I had. And then I threw up. And all of a sudden, I could breathe. So the moment I thought was going to kill me was the moment I also knew that I could live. And from that moment on, every time I went through one of them episodes, I wanted to throw up. I never threw up again. I had dry heaves, but I never threw up again. But every time it happened, when it was over, I could breathe better. It only lasted about 3 days, and then I slowly started getting better. Actually, after that initial throw up, every air episode, after it was over, I could breathe and I hurt less. So, there's the answer to your question. It was the most excruciating pain in the world, and it went from your head to your toenails. I don't know if I can be infected again. They have not said. My headache just stopped a little bit yesterday for the first time. My eyeballs finally uh, started feeling better yesterday, and I've been out of hospital a week and a half, I guess, since the 20th. And they didn't want me taking Tylenol. My temperature is running 96.8, 97.2, 97.4. They didn't want me taking ibuprofen either, so y'all figure that one out. They don't know. That's the worst part about this virus. They don't know anything. All right, well, I wanted to get that out. Maybe I start feeling better at night. I keep thinking when they tell me I can leave the house, I don't want to go nowhere. This thing is so unpredictable. You guys have a, I was going to say good night, but it's 4:30 in the morning. Me and my demons. You know everything I know. Maybe it'll help. No, I have not had a negative test yet. And they're probably not going to give me any more tests because they're running short on tests, but I have not had a negative test yet. The tests they took on the 19th and the 20th, one came back negative. The other, one from the 19th came back negative. The one from the 20th, no, correction. The one on the 19th I was hoping would come back negative. It came back positive. That's the only one that came back. The one I took on the 20th did not come back yet. So they don't even know what they're going to do with me. But they're not, I don't believe they're giving me any more tests. So no, I have not tested negative yet. My first 2 tests were discarded because they were bad batches. My 3rd test came back positive. My 4th test was done too soon. It was supposed to be a hospital release test, and it was thrown out. CDC told them it was done too soon. And then they waited 5 more days, and they did a 5th test, which came back positive, and a 6th test on Friday the 20th that has not come back yet. So, no, I have not tested negative yet. I got to say hi to St. Martin. I can't believe your people calling me and messaging me, and Prophet Spoons, thank him for me. He prayed with me yesterday, all the way from St. Martin. You guys take care of each other out there. And you know, we can beat this thing, but everybody has to go through it. One way or another, it's going to touch everybody, but we can beat this. Fight. Fight back like I did. It's just as mental as it is physical. Don't give up, like my son Kevin said. You got to fight for yourself. All you got is God, and that's all you need. At that moment, you're going to be the closest to Him than you've ever been. And you better call His name out loud. Remember that. That is the one thing that got me through every one of those episodes. That's where I got my strength. I got my strength from Jehovah God. And every time he probably thought, yep, you thought you could do everything without me. And every one of those episodes, the first 4 or 5 really bad ones, when it just hurt so bad. Please, Jehovah God, please, Jehovah God, please. And that's all you could do. Well, it's up to the scientists to find a cure. That's not up to us. It's up to us to encourage each other to fight. You fight by practicing physical distancing. You don't have to socially distance yourself from everybody, because you can use this social media to stay in contact. People are doing it all over the world. Physical distancing, keeping physically away from other people, because you don't know if the virus is on their hands, their clothes, their shoes, their phones. It's out there. Physical distancing. And I appreciate all your prayers and all your support. And I hope none of you have to go through this. But some of you will. A lot of you will. And some of you won't make it. And you'll remember this conversation, and you'll remember what I said and what I was talking about. You'll never be able to tell us about it. But you just remember, when you're going through it, a lot of other people went through it too. All right. I gotta go. Y'all have fun talking smack about me. It's all right. So one thing about this virus: make fun of it, belittle it, don't take it serious. It has a brain, it tricks you into believing that it ain't there. That's why your fever comes and goes. That's why you feel good for a few hours one day, or even feel good for a day, and then you go out and it comes back with a vengeance. This thing ain't no joke. It, it's outthinking the best minds in the world. Just when they think they got something figured out, a new symptom shows up. Mombasa. Wow. Am I getting my weight back? Yeah, I gained 3 pounds, but if I don't get out of this bed on a regular basis and start working out, that gorgeous body that lost all that weight is going to come back looking like Mr. Muppet or something. So, yeah, I'm working on getting my air back. When I get my air back, I'm going to get back on my own elliptical machine and stay home. Me and my son are going to work out together. He's getting ready for what they think they might have in football, and I got to get ready to go out there and do me. I love doing me. I had a great life playing with my puppy. I was getting ready to say hanging out, but the only place I hang out is work. I love to work, whether it's construction work or working on cars or painting a car. I can't wait to get back to my life. Monique, yeah, you don't know me. I don't stress. I don't get stressed. I give stress. So trust me, my friends know I'm stressing them out all the time. I laugh and get them stressed. I don't get stressed. Yeah, I think this virus stressed me for a few days. Those 6 days, I thought I was going to kick the bucket. Yeah, it stressed me. And even now, when I think about laughing or mocking it or making a joke, that probably stresses me too. Because right after that joke, I think he heard me. And it's just a matter of time for he come back for vengeance. It's a very vengeful virus. All right, one more time. I need to go. That's what friends are for. Okay, Monique. Oh, man. Take care, you guys. Hey, New York. I was just getting ready to hang up. And I know you're scared. But listen, a lot of people are going to come through this unscathed. You just have to be one of those people that believes that this thing is real and fight it. Do not let it win. Use that fear to put a game plan together to fight back. Use that fear to keep away from other people. Use that fear to keep your hands clean. I don't care if you wash your hands 1,000 times a day. Use that fear to be proactive in fighting this thing. Don't let fear put you in a corner waiting for it to come and get you. Use that fear to fight. And the way you fight this virus is to know that it's real, to know that it will get you, to know that it's coming. If you get complacent and lackadaisical and you fall into a pattern of just doing what you feel like doing when you feel like doing it, that is not what we want. And we don't want to hide and cower in the corner. Use that fear to tell people to get away from you. Use that fear to tell kids to wash their hands, quit touching everything, quit crying about not going outside. The devil is out there, and his name is coronavirus. Use that fear. Okay, Monique, you got me smiling when I needed it the most. So, yeah, thank you for that. I am getting well. Good night.